There he is. Junior, how are you?
I'm good, Ariel. How about you? Everything good?
Everything's good. You're still smiling despite everything that you've been through, and you always have a very good demeanor. But I have to ask, this past year for you, how was it? How difficult was it going through this? Because not only are you fighting for your career, but your reputation is somewhat at stake as well, right?
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah, that was this last week. This last year was a nightmare for me because, man, I've never imagined I could go through something like that in my career. I've been playing the fair game my whole career. I became champion of the world like that. And my goal is to become champion of the world again, with this way. And this thing will happen with me and USADA, that was very sad for me. And there's no, in my mind, there's no how that could be happening with me. But like you said, it was a tainted supplement, and unfortunately, I was going through the hell.
When you got that initial call that you had tested positive and this came up, like what was your reaction? Were you completely shocked? Like how did you take that news when you first got that call?
Yeah, I was in shock for sure. I was very worried about that, but in my mind, I was thinking, no, it's not right. Something is going, something wrong's going on here. Probably they will find out the truth very fast, and they will release me to from this case, from this situation. And but it didn't happen, and they started to investigate and investigate. In my mind, like I said, in my mind, I've been saying all the time, I've been supporting USADA all the time, and I've been saying that I've been playing the fair game the whole time. And the only organization in this whole world that could tell everybody else that I was saying the truth was USADA, but they were doing the opposite. So, so I said, my gosh, what I'm facing now? This is. I've never, like I said, I've never imagined going through something like that. So then they started investigation, and things were going longer and longer, and the whole time was 9 months. 9 months investigating the thing. My gosh, that was a big impact in my life, in my career. But thank God they found out, they found the truth, and they gave me my reputation back to me as clean, as clean as it was before.
Do you feel like that is the case? Because sometimes this news comes out and fans stick to it and then they just label you. Do you feel like your reputation is back?
Yes, for sure. I feel like that. I feel the truth was found. And everybody knows that was a tainted supplement. It wasn't my fault. It wasn't my intention. So yeah, of course, there's always people, negative people that they keep saying bad things about you. They hold up on the negative things, but but I feel like, I got my reputation back. It's very important to me, very, very important to me. I'm very proud with everything what I've been through my whole career, everything what I've been done, in my whole career. So I think I have my reputation back, and all the people that support me, they also know that.
How difficult was it to find the supplement that was tainted? And could you tell us what the supplement that you were taking was for?
Yes. Actually, I'm not gonna be able to tell you exactly what supplement was, but I was using some supplements from the pharmacy there in Brazil, a pharmacy, a manipulation pharmacy there in Brazil. And but like for years, since 2014, I was working with them, and I've never had any problem with them, because and as soon as USADA told me that hey, there's something wrong here, we found diuretic on your supplement, on your body, so then I the first supplement I sent them was a CLA that I bought here in America. I bought in a store here in America, and I sent this one because that one was the only one different that I was taking. I've never imagined could be the pharmacy that I was using in Brazil, but the result of that supplement came negative. So then I sent them six, seven other supplements from this pharmacy there in Brazil, and three of them were tainted, like contaminated. So then I said, my gosh, finally, but finally they found, it's contamination, and they will release me. But it didn't happen. They said, man, it could be me. Maybe I did that on purpose. With my own supplements. Then I said, my gosh, how I would do that? I'm not a chemist. I'm not a scientist or something like that to do this, with the supplements in the right amount, because the amount they found on me was so little, was 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, something like that, which is traits of diuretic in a very cheap diuretic that wouldn't work to hide anything, So that was very frustrating. But after a few more months, I think they ordered some other supplements or something like that, and they could found, it wasn't my fault, and they finally told me, you're free to move on.
The crazy thing is that this happened in August, and it's now May, and that was 9 months ago, and they give you this sort of 6 month slap on the wrist. But unlike, like, let's take for example, this is just a MMA example, but like Conor McGregor got arrested, right? He could leave jail, he goes home, he does his life, and then he has to come back for a hearing. You cannot continue your career while this is happening. Like you're kind of put in jail for 9 months. You can't make any money. Do you feel like this system is broken? We saw the same thing with Josh Barnett recently. He couldn't fight for a year and a half, and eventually they deemed that he was not at fault. Is this wrong? Should they change the way they do this?
Yes, they should change this. Because of an investigation, they were investigating the thing. I wasn't guilty. They were investigating and trying to see if I did that on purpose or not. But they took me out of the fight. I would fight in Ganu, and they took me out of that fight, and they stopped my whole career, to investigate the thing. I think that goes, the completely opposite direction of the law, because I'm free. I'm innocent until you prove I'm guilty. So in this case, it's different. You're guilty until you prove you're innocent.
Wow.
So yeah, it's not, this is not good, especially in my case, that I knew I didn't do anything wrong, and I was going through all this situation. It was a very bad feeling, a very bad thing. I couldn't thank God that God knows what He does, because thank God I had my son here with me, so I was paying attention on him, and giving everything what I could of myself to him, So that was I think what keeps my balance this whole time now, because that was tough times. There were tough times, and if I didn't have my son here, maybe I would stay thinking too much about it, and I would be kind of crazy now.
Was the UFC supportive in all of this?
Yeah, they were actually. what they could do. It was between, as soon as USADA found something on you, then it's between you and USADA. But they were very supportive, showing that they were there and they were believing in me all the time. So I appreciate that, and finally, like I said, let's move on.
USADA is a very controversial thing in our sport. Are you in favor of no USADA? That it's just not, the fighters had no say in this. You didn't ask for this. You didn't sign up for this. You didn't collectively bargain this. Would you prefer to see this relationship come to an end after experiencing all of this?
Well, what I want to see a clean sport. I know this sport, it's this drugs, this performance enhancing drugs are a big problem for all the athletes, because everybody knows most part of the athletes in general, other sports too, sometimes they take PEDs, but I want to see a clean sport because we want to know who's the real champion. We don't want to see a fake champion over there, So I'm in favor of a clean sport, but of course, if the USADA is the organization that's going to bring the clean sport, that's good. I've been supporting USADA since the beginning, but I didn't sign. Nobody, all the fighters signed for that. We just accept what UFC decision. But yeah, I don't know what to say because I've been very frustrated this whole time, especially because what I know that the diuretic is in the prohibit list, but this diuretic, I've been talking to many doctors and like friends of mine, and this diuretic is specific. It's hydrochlorothiazide, something like this. It's a very cheap and not effective diuretic. They told me I should take something very much more stronger to hide something on me if I would like to hide something, on me. So I think USADA know that. And also the amount they found on me, 0.4 of 0.5, which is nothing, which is traits. So based on those numbers, on those things, in my mind, USADA would be the organization to know that I'm not a cheater. But it wasn't like that. I still went through this whole investigation, this whole scenario, and they were putting me as a cheater, it was very bad, man. So now I hope they can keep a clean sport and whatever they how they can do that. But they have better rules, better way to treat the athletes, because it's our lives, it's our lives in the game, our lives it's happening, so I hope that the system gets better.
In order to avoid any of this, have you changed anything? As far as supplements, what lessons have you taken away from this?
Oh yeah, I've been, some of the people, they say, even USADA, sometimes they say, you cannot use supplements, or you don't need to use supplements. Just keep a good diet. Man, someone who say that have never been training for a real MMA fight. Man, this is this is the hardest sport in the world. We train so much, twice a day, every day, and it's not. We need supplements. We need things to rest better, to recover better, to perform better. Just supplements. Because like if I would eat all the protein I need in a day, I would have to eat maybe, I don't know, 10, 15 chickens every day. It's impossible. So I have to, I take my supplements. I take my things. Everybody has to do this, So, now I'm not using the pharmacy anymore. and I'm trying to use actually using all the supplements that USADA recommend to us. They have a list of recommendations, of the brands that you can use that maybe is going to be better for us. So I'm trying to do this, to keep everything under their recommendation.
Well, you've handled it very well, and now you're in the clear. You're able to resume your career. July 14th, you're back in Boise, Idaho, of all places, against Blagoy Ivanov. What, if anything, do you know about Blagoy? This is his UFC debut. Former Bellator World Series of Fighting fighter, beat Fyodor in a sambo match many moons ago. What do you know about this guy?
Well, now I start to know more about him, because I start to study things about him, and also here in American Top Team we had some of my partners here, some of my friends who already fought him, so they can give him some advices too. But I know he's a tough guy. He's a very tough guy and sambo guy, but he likes to strike too. He has knockout power. So he was champion in 2 different organizations. So it's gonna be a good debut in the UFC. For the UFC, he's a good fighter coming to the UFC, and I'm just happy, because I'm gonna be giving him the welcome to the organization, and also facing a very tough guy, and no doubts it's gonna be a very interesting fight, because he's a tough guy, attacking, but he can take a lot of punches too. I was watching some of his fights, and man, he's tough.
Have you ever been to Idaho?
I've never. They have been telling me good things about that.
Did you ever hear of Idaho before they offered you this fight there?
If I heard, it wasn't many times,
Okay.
1 or 2 times maybe.
Well, usually when the UFC goes to a city for the first time, there's a lot of excitement, a lot of buzz. So the time frame for your fight is a week after Stipe fights Daniel Cormier, so it's a good time to come back because it's always good to fight around when the belt is being defended. Who's your pick in that fight before we go? Who do you like, DC or Stipe?
I think Stipe. I think it's a very tough fight for Stipe, and there is nothing in the line from DC. Everything is on Stipe because his title is on the line. DC is coming up for the heavyweight division again, but it's gonna be a good fight, and I believe the knockout power of Stipe is gonna make the difference.
Junior, I'm so happy for you. I'm happy this all worked out. I'm very sorry that you had to go through all of this. And it's a crappy situation, but I'm happy in the end you were vindicated and that you were proven to be innocent. And I'm happy that you're returning sooner rather than later and that you can continue your career. So thank you very much for coming on the show. Congratulations on kind of winning your case, if we want to put it that way. And of course, good luck in training. Good luck in the fight on July 14th. Great to talk to you again and to see that smile of yours, that famous smile.
Thank you very much, Ariel.
All right, we'll talk to you soon. All the best to Junior Cigano dos Santos, one of the best guys in the sport. How could you not be happy for him?